Ever imagine like living in a house, but one that's constantly like zooming around the Earth?
At 17,500 miles an hour, no less.
Yeah, that's the reality for those astronauts up there on the International Space Station.
A marvel of engineering,
Definitely. Global teamwork.
orbiting 400 kilometers above us.
It's been up there for decades, pushing the boundaries of science. Capturing imaginations of people worldwide, too, I'd say.
Oh, for sure.
Welcome to Cosmos in a Pod.
Space and Astronomy series.
Today we are diving deep into the International Space Station.
The ISS.
We'll uncover what it is, why it matters, some of the extraordinary things we've learned from it. We'll even explore what daily life is like for the astronauts living on it, and the challenges it faces, as it paves the way for humanity's future in space.
It's remarkable how this orbiting laboratory, this symbol of human achievement, it often just fades into the background of our daily lives.
It's true, we hear about it. But do we really grasp what's going on up there? For starters, when we say laboratory, it's not just some single room, is it?
Not at all. The ISS is a marvel of modular design, almost like a giant Lego set assembled in space. Think about it. The first module Zarya was launched by Russia way back in 1998. Over time, piece by piece, they added labs, living spaces, docking ports, even massive solar arrays were added. It wasn't fully complete until 2011, and even now they're constantly upgrading and expanding it.
15 nations are involved. 15.
Mhm.
That's the USA and Russia working side by side with countries across Europe, Japan, Canada, and more. Can you imagine the level of global coordination
Yeah.
to pull this off, especially with all the international relations going on?
It's a testament to the power of a shared goal, isn't it? To see nations, sometimes even in the midst of political tension, coming together to achieve something as remarkable as this. It's truly inspiring.
So we have this incredible structure constantly circling the Earth. But why? Why is the ISS so important?
Well, the ISS serves several crucial purposes. First and foremost, it's a one-of-a-kind science lab, that microgravity environment up there, where things essentially float. It allows scientists to do experiments that would be impossible to do on Earth.
What kind of research are we talking about? What makes these experiments so unique?
Oh, the possibilities are vast. Imagine studying how fire behaves in microgravity. It burns differently. Or how plants grow without the pull of gravity. They're even testing new cancer treatments in this unique environment. And it's not just space-specific science either. What we've learned about osteoporosis and muscle atrophy from studying astronauts has led to new medical treatments here on Earth. Even water purification technology has advanced thanks to research on the ISS.
It's fascinating. So it's this giant orbiting test bed, pushing the boundaries of multiple scientific fields. But you said there were other reasons why the ISS is so important. What else are we learning from this incredible endeavor?
The ISS isn't just about the science we're doing now. It's laying the groundwork for future missions, for humanity's deeper exploration of space.
So think moon bases missions to Mars, that kind of future.
Exactly. Think about the challenges of long-duration space travel. The ISS is where we're figuring out how to make life support systems work for months or even years. We're learning how to shield astronauts from the dangers of radiation in space. We're even mastering the complex techniques of docking spacecraft, a crucial skill when you're millions of miles from home.
It's like this crucial stepping stone to venturing further into the cosmos, a way to test and refine the technologies we'll need to truly become a spacefaring civilization.
Precisely. It's giving us the knowledge and experience we need to make those ambitious dreams of exploring distant worlds a reality.
Okay, we've talked about the science and future missions, but I have to ask, what's it like to actually live on the ISS? What's daily life like for the astronauts up there?
Life on the ISS is an experience unlike any other. Imagine a world where you're constantly floating, where even the simplest tasks, like eating or sleeping, require a whole new approach. Astronauts have incredibly busy schedules, conducting research, troubleshooting technical issues, exercising, which is essential to combat muscle and bone loss in microgravity, and constantly communicating with Earth.
2 hours of exercise every day just to stay healthy. That's dedication. What about the crew itself? It's a multicultural environment, right? What's that like?
Absolutely. Crews from all over the world representing diverse cultures and backgrounds live and work together in close quarters for months at a time. It's a true testament to international collaboration and the power of human connection, even in the extraordinary environment of space.
It sounds like living and working on the ISS presents challenges that we can barely imagine down here on Earth, but it also offers incredibly unique and rewarding experiences. Now, I know there have been some groundbreaking projects conducted on the ISS. Are there any that stand out in your mind?
Definitely. One that captured the world's attention was the remarkable twin study. NASA sent one identical twin, Scott Kelly, to space for a full year. while his brother Mark stayed on Earth. The data they collected comparing the twins provided invaluable insights into the long-term effects of spaceflight on the human body, from gene expression to cognitive function.
I remember that study. It was fascinating to follow. And speaking of changes in the space landscape, haven't private companies become more involved in recent years?
Yes, that's another exciting development. Companies like SpaceX and Boeing are now using the ISS to conduct their own research and test new technologies, like advanced spacecraft and life support systems.
It sounds like a new era of space exploration is unfolding, with private companies working alongside government agencies to push the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
But are there any downsides to this increasing involvement?
It's a complex issue with both exciting possibilities and potential challenges. It raises questions about the future of space exploration, the role of commercialization, and the ethical considerations of venturing further into the cosmos.
We'll have to dive into those questions more a bit later. But before we go there, I want to talk about some of the amazing projects that have come out of the ISS. What are some of the advancements that have you most excited?
Well, besides the twin study, one project that has far-reaching implications is learning how to grow food in space. Imagine the possibilities. Sustainable food sources for future missions, and perhaps even improving agricultural practices back here on Earth. It's a truly remarkable feat of science and engineering.
Okay, we've talked about all these incredible achievements, the groundbreaking research, and the ambitious missions the ISS is enabling. But let's be real, it can't all be smooth sailing, right? There must be challenges. What are some of the downsides to the ISS?
You're right, the ISS, as groundbreaking as it is, isn't without its challenges, and the most significant one is cost. We're talking about a price tag in the billions, which sparks debate about whether the benefits outweigh the financial burden.
That's understandable. It's a massive investment. And it's natural to question whether it's sustainable in the long run. Are there other concerns besides the financial aspects?
Definitely. There's also the issue of aging infrastructure. The ISS is over 2 decades old, and keeping such a complex structure running smoothly in the harsh environment of space is incredibly difficult and expensive.
So it's like a classic car. It might look amazing, but it needs constant maintenance
Mm.
and specialized parts that are becoming harder to come by.
That's a good analogy. And the older it gets, the higher those maintenance costs rise. And then there's the tricky world of geopolitics to navigate.
Because so many countries are involved.
Exactly. International collaboration is wonderful when it works, but it's not always easy. Political tensions on Earth can spill over into space endeavors, creating uncertainty and impacting the long-term stability of projects like the ISS.
That's a sobering thought, and highlights how even something as inspiring as space exploration isn't immune to the complexities of human relationships and global politics. Are there any other challenges we should be aware of?
Well, there's one that might seem like something out of a science fiction movie, but is a very real and growing problem: space junk.
Space junk. You mean like debris from old satellites and rockets?
Exactly. As we launch more and more objects into orbit, we're creating this increasingly hazardous environment in low Earth orbit. And the ISS, traveling at incredible speeds, has to constantly maneuver to avoid collisions with this debris. It's a constant threat and a stark reminder of the importance of responsible space practices.
It sounds like a cosmic game of dodgeball, with the ISS having to weave and bob around pieces of debris that could cause serious damage. It makes you realize that exploring space comes with responsibilities, not just for the astronauts and the technology, but for the long-term health of the space environment itself.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that our actions have consequences, even beyond our planet.
This has been a fascinating glimpse into the world of the International Space Station, from its incredible achievements and scientific discoveries to the complexities and challenges it faces. But we've only just scratched the surface. What happens next for the ISS? What does its future hold? And how will it shape humanity's journey into the cosmos?
Those are questions we'll explore in more depth in the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the future of the International Space Station and what it means for the future of space exploration.
We left off talking about the future of the ISS, and it really is a big question mark. The current plan is to keep it operational until 2030, but after that, things get a bit murky.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine a future without the ISS after all these years. It's become such a fixture in our collective consciousness, this symbol of human achievement. Up there in orbit, what are some of the options being considered for what comes next?
Well, one idea is for NASA to pass the torch, so to speak, to private companies. We're already seeing companies like SpaceX and Boeing making significant strides in space technology. They could potentially take over the operation of the ISS. or even build their own next-generation space stations.
So the ISS could become a sort of blueprint for commercially operated space stations, ushering in a new era of private sector involvement in space exploration. That's both exciting and a little daunting. It makes you wonder how that shift might change the landscape of space exploration.
It certainly raises questions about access to space, the role of international collaboration, and the potential for commercialization. Will space become more accessible to private citizens? Or will it primarily serve the interests of corporations? These are complex issues that we as a society will need to grapple with as we venture further into the cosmos.
It's a reminder that space exploration isn't just about science and technology. It's about the human element, the social and ethical implications of our expanding presence in the universe. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's bring the focus back to the ISS and the challenges it faces right now. You mentioned cost, aging infrastructure, geopolitics, and space debris. Let's dig a little deeper into each of those because they highlight some of the very real complexities of this incredible endeavor.
You're right, those challenges are significant and shouldn't be glossed over. Let's start with the elephant in the room, cost. The ISS is one of the most expensive projects in human history.
We're talking billions of dollars,
Yeah.
right?
Billions. Some estimates put the total cost at over $150 billion. That's a staggering amount of money. And it raises important questions about resource allocation. Is the ISS worth the price tag? Are there other more pressing issues here on Earth that deserve that level of funding?
It's a difficult question. It's hard to put a price tag on scientific advancements, international collaboration, and the inspiration that the ISS provides. But at the same time, we have to be responsible stewards of our resources,
Yeah.
especially when dealing with such vast sums of money.
What about the aging infrastructure? You mentioned that the ISS is over 2 decades old. What kind of challenges does that present? Well, imagine trying to keep a 20-year-old car running perfectly. In the most extreme environment imaginable, space is harsh. Extreme temperatures, radiation, micrometeoroids. Maintaining the ISS is a constant battle against wear and tear. And as the station gets older, those maintenance costs only go up.
So we're not just talking about replacing worn-out parts, we're talking about doing it in space, which adds a whole other layer of complexity and risk.
Exactly, and those repairs and upgrades often require risky spacewalks, which are dangerous and expensive in their own right. And then there's the geopolitical aspect. You have all these different countries involved, each with their own priorities and interests.
And sometimes those interests clash, as we've seen in recent years, with increasing global tensions.
Precisely. Maintaining international collaboration in space can be incredibly challenging. When political winds shift on Earth, it raises concerns about the long-term sustainability of the ISS and the future of international cooperation in space exploration.
It makes you realize that space exploration isn't just about overcoming technical challenges. It's about navigating the complexities of human relationships on a global scale. And then there's the ever-present danger of space debris, a problem that seems to be getting worse as we launch more and more satellites and objects into orbit.
It's a serious issue. Imagine the ISS having to perform an emergency maneuver to avoid a piece of a defunct satellite, hurtling towards it at thousands of miles per hour. That's the reality of the growing space debris problem. And it's a constant threat, not only to the ISS, but to all spacecraft and satellites in orbit.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster. What are we doing to address this problem? Are there any solutions on the horizon?
There are a few promising avenues being explored. One idea is to develop technologies for actively removing debris from orbit. Things like robotic spacecraft that can capture and deorbit larger objects, or even space-based lasers that can nudge smaller debris out of harm's way.
Like a cosmic cleanup crew. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it might be the key to ensuring the safety and sustainability of space exploration in the long run.
It's a fascinating area of research and development, and it highlights the fact that we have a responsibility to be good stewards of the space environment. It's not just about getting up there. It's about doing it in a way that preserves the space environment for future generations.
Okay, so we've got a lot on our plate. Cost concerns, aging infrastructure, geopolitical tensions, and a growing space debris problem. It makes you wonder, with all these challenges, is there a future for the ISS and for human exploration of space in general? Are there any solutions that offer a glimmer of hope?
That's a question we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive. Stay tuned as we delve into some potential solutions and imagine what the future might hold for the International Space Station and humanity's continued exploration of the cosmos.
So we've talked about the incredible achievements of the ISS, the groundbreaking research, the challenges it faces, and the uncertainty of its future. It's a lot to process. What stood out to you the most during our deep dive?
For me, it's the sheer audacity of the whole project. I mean, we built a house-sized laboratory in space. It just boggles the mind when you really think about it. The engineering, the logistics, the global collaboration, it's a testament to human ingenuity
Yeah.
and our pursuit of knowledge.
It's true. It's like something out of a science fiction novel, yet it's been orbiting above us for over 2 decades. And it's not just some static structure. It's constantly evolving, being upgraded. With new modules and experiments added all the time, it's a living, breathing testament to our desire to explore and understand the universe. What about you? What resonated with you the most?
Honestly, it's the impact the ISS has had on scientific research. Think about it, over 3,000 experiments conducted in this unique microgravity environment. That's an incredible wealth of knowledge gained. We've made significant advancements in medicine materials, science, even agriculture, all thanks to the research on the ISS.
It's a powerful reminder that space exploration isn't just about astronauts and rockets. It's about pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and innovation. And those benefits trickle down to all of us here on Earth. It's like this giant orbiting laboratory that's working to improve life for humankind.
Exactly. And it's not just about the scientific knowledge, but the technological advancements that have emerged along the way, developing life support systems, radiation shielding, spacecraft docking mechanisms, those are all essential technologies for future space exploration. And who knows, they might have applications here on Earth as well, leading to innovations we haven't even imagined yet.
It's like a ripple effect. With the knowledge and technology gained from space exploration expanding outwards, touching various aspects of our lives in ways we might not even realize. So where do we go from here? What does the future hold for space exploration? With the ISS potentially being decommissioned in 2030, what are your thoughts on the next chapter?
That's the big question, isn't it? What will be the next great leap for humanity in space? Will we see the rise of commercial space stations, with companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin leading the way? Will you finally return to the moon and establish a permanent presence there? And what about Mars? Is that the ultimate goal? To set foot on the red planet and maybe even establish a human colony there?
So many possibilities, so many questions still unanswered. It's both exciting and a little daunting to think about what the future holds.
It is. But that's what makes it so thrilling. We're at a pivotal moment in the history of space exploration, a time of transition and transformation. It's a time for bold ideas, for international collaboration, and for inspiring the next generation of explorers and dreamers to reach for the stars.
I love that sentiment. It's not about predicting the future. It's about embracing the possibilities and working together to shape a future where humanity continues to push the boundaries of what's possible. It's about continuing to ask those big questions, to explore the unknown, and to never lose that sense of wonder and awe that the cosmos inspires.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be hosting Cosmos in a pod. From a lunar base or even a Martian outpost, wouldn't that be something?
That would be incredible. But for now, we'll have to settle for our studio here on Earth. To all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this journey to the International Space Station. We hope you've gained a deeper appreciation for this incredible feat of engineering, the groundbreaking science it enables, and the complex challenges and opportunities it presents for the future of space exploration.
Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Cosmos in a Pod for more deep dives into the wonders of the universe.
And be sure to check out our YouTube channel for stunning visuals and in-depth explorations of the topics we discuss. Until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and never stop exploring. The universe is vast and full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered.
See you next time.